So I am the co-chair of the Defund the Police working group that's part of Providence DSA, and I'm also part of Reclaim Rhode Island and an abolition coalition that's working together towards the first goal of abolition, which is defunding the police.
Guys, feel free to come pick up a 70% and a defund sign, especially if you're in a pair, and you can wear it around your neck while you walk. There's a couple right here.
So what's going on here today?
There's a 70% as well. You can wear around your neck as we walk.
So really the purpose of today's event is to show what do we mean when we say defund the police. What we're actually talking about is taking money from our police budget and reinvesting it in our community. So today's event is really an event of love and care. We want to show that we love our community by picking up trash off the streets and some really walked on streets in Providence. But also more than that, we also want to talk with our community and community members as we're marching about where they want to see money reinvested into their communities. So we want to make sure, and our abolition coalition has released a set of demands. There's 3 demands. One is that we reduce the police budget by 70% in fiscal year 21 for the Providence Police. The other is that we reduce the police workforce by 70%, and the last one is that $61.6 million divested from the police budget gets reinvested into the community, but as determined by folks who are most affected by carceral systems and excessive policing. So that's Black, Indigenous, people of color, 4 million currently incarcerated people, LGBTQ people, working class people, immigrant, undocumented people, the people in our communities who have always had the least voice, and our goal is to give them a voice and make sure that they get to decide where this money goes.
Right, so a lot of people think, oh, we just want to take money away from the police, but it's really we want to take money away from the police to kind of prevent some of the problems that police have to deal with before they happen.
Exactly. We're trying to become a proactive society instead of a reactive society. Right now, we criminalize survival in our country constantly. I mean, I was arrested yesterday at a protest that was trying to block evictions. We're evicting people during a global pandemic. And that's horrifying. There's other countries around this world, other developed countries, are not evicting people during a global pandemic. The fact that we don't think that housing is a human right in our country is extremely problematic. And the fact that we criminalize people who do not have houses is extremely problematic. And we're trying to rectify that.
So with the money, that came from the police, would you want to see it go into something like street cleanups? Is this
we want to see it go into, well, I want the community, first of all. I can't really speak on it myself, but just what I know from talking with other community members where people want to see this money reinvested is social services. People want to see money into affordable housing. Rhode Island is the only state in New England that doesn't have any dedicated funding to affordable housing and consistent funding towards affordable housing. People want to see it go towards mental health services. People want to see it go towards education. But what we have to also understand is when we are asking to defund the police, we're asking to dismantle systemic racism across one system, which is our carceral system. In order for Black lives to matter, for the lives of Indigenous people to matter, we cannot just dismantle racism across our carceral system. We also have to dismantle racism in our educational system, in our social services systems, in our mental health systems. It's a long road and there's a lot of work to do, but a big, huge, massive first step can be taking money that is wrongfully allocated to our police when our communities are in need.
So kind of cleaning up the street is representative of, taking this money and putting it back into the community.
Exactly. We want to show that what this movement is a movement of love. It's a movement of care. It's a movement that recognizes the humanity of all people. And that's why we say Black Lives Matter, is because Black lives have been said to not matter for so long in the history of our country.
Talk us through what you plan on doing this morning.
Really what we plan on doing is we're going to be walking around, we're going to be picking up trash off the streets, we're going to be marching through multiple wards, we're going to be stopping to speak a few times, and we're also going to have some folks who are actually just talking to folks that we see who are out right now and getting their input, because right now what happens is, there's a lot of activists around, and activists have a very clear vision, but also not everybody has the time or space to do that, so we're trying to give some folks who maybe haven't had a chance to talk about where they would like money to be reallocated in the city budget and make sure that they have a voice in that. Which we're not the only organizations who are doing that. Organizations like Amore and Prism are also having community conversations where we're trying to make sure that as many people in our communities as possible who are affected by excessive policing have a voice and have a seat at the table when it's decided where this money goes.
We jumped in, so what organization are you from?
I'm from Providence DSA in Rhode Island.
Providence what?
DSA, Democratic Socialists of America.
Okay, and what's your name?
Nikteha Salazar, it's Nikteha, and my last name is Salazar, Salazar.
And you organized this event?
I helped to organize this event with a bunch of different local organizers. It is not me by myself, and it rarely is.
So truly grassroots.
Yes.
So what do you want, while you're going through the streets picking up trash, what's kind of the reaction you're looking for from people?
We are hoping that people from the community want to join our march. We're hoping that people join, we're hoping that people talk to us. And that we can all collectively show our love for this city, because that's where this movement comes from.
How does it make you feel seeing all these people coming out here today? It's kind of a big crowd.
Yeah, and I mean, we're not moving till 11. I mean, it feels good. I'm more excited though to get out into the streets. I actually used to work with this school that's over here. With a different organization that I used to work for, a local nonprofit that's in Providence that provides arts education to youth. And I think what I'm really excited about is to hopefully engage people as we're walking around. I mean, I went around and canvassed yesterday on Broad Street because we were going to end up on Broad Street, and it was really just wonderful to talk to people and hear from them about what they think about what's going on with schools, where they think money should go to schools right now so that we can have a safe return, about how people think that there needs to be more social services available to people, that people need to have alternatives to calling the police when there's a domestic dispute. The people in our community are really smart and know this community really well, so I'm just looking forward to hearing from them.
So beyond today, the long-term effects, you want people to join the movement, right?
Yeah, we want people to join the movement. We want people to join the movement and know that we are fighting together to make sure that everybody has access to human rights. That is really what this is about.
I know personally I've seen you at a lot of these events. What do you think it shows to the public to see that, you guys are so relentless? Is this showing them it's time?
Yeah, it's that we're not going to stop fighting ever. This isn't just about defunding the police. There's a lot of systems that are racist in our country. I mean, if you lay them out, as I was saying before, our social services system, our educational system, food systems, there's so much work to be done. And I know that I have devoted my life to this work, so I'm going to show up every chance that I get. And I think that most of the other organizers that I work with feel the same way, that this is a life's work. This isn't a moment right now. This is a movement that is going to last for a very long time, and probably longer than we're alive.